Whoop.
Oh, okay.
There she is.
Hey.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
I had my volume turned down. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you all good. So, I'm going to give it a couple minutes here for, I think we were going to have Michael and possibly Evan on board here.
Coolness.
Yeah. We'll have our fancy video playing in the meantime. It'll play. There it goes.
Yeah. So how are you?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Another day
Awesome.
older.
Amazing. Amazing.
Oh my gosh. See, I'm gonna.
And just so you know, so you're prepared here, we're going to be going over a quick recap of the Pothole Project. We're going to be going over your speech at the museum.
Yeah.
We'll be going over what we talked about, the seasonal roles of the RRPO, and then a couple of the projects that we had talked about on the last Pothole Project.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting on Michael to jump on here. Anybody who is watching this through Facebook or Instagram, if you submit your comments, I can see it on here. Just make sure you're commenting on the Ridge Root Preservation Organization's page. So at any point, if any of you guys have questions, just go ahead and comment it on there, and I'll be able to see it and we'll be able to answer it for you. It's fantastic. Jamie, you like the new logo on here? I put the new one with the car on the top right corner.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that going to be our logo? I like
why
that.
not?
And then, because that would be a lovely one to put on business
shirt or
cards, which
something?
I want to get going on.
Yeah. It's a little easier to see it when it's a little bigger, but I mean, it works.
No, it totally works.
Awesome. Let me send Michael a text just seeing if he's jumping on.
Let's see. I'm doing a full screen. See how that works. Oh, look at that. That's even better. I just made a full screen
I love
thing,
it.
and then I can still go down here and see my mute stuff. I have hide chat on. I don't need to see the chat, right?
No, I got it. I'm keeping an eye on it.
Yeah. Well, I can't read anyway, so.
All good.
Yeah,
All
she's
good.
recording this. Okay, Erica's telling me I have to behave if you're recording this.
Yeah, sadly.
Okay.
I know how rough that is.
Okay.
All right. I'm just waiting to hear back from Michael on this, and then we'll go ahead and get started. The video keeps on freezing on here. There it goes.
Yeah, it goes and then it stops.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of glitching like our cable feed. Lovely.
Haven't quite heard back from him just yet.
Yeah, I really like that logo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a model. That's a Model A.
Is it?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Nice. Alrighty. Where is this guy? Okay, so just a reminder, this is being live streamed for anybody who's watching it elsewhere. If you comment on the RRPO page on this video, or if you're watching through Instagram, I'll be able to see the comments and we can answer your questions. Right now, we're just waiting on one more person to jump on board here, possibly two, and then we'll get started. If there's any questions anybody has up front, you're welcome to submit them right now. The video stopped again. All right, Jamie. Do you want to give it a start with your wrap up of your museum presentation here? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let me just get your. Go for it.
Look at that. There's my cheesy picture, and yes. What was the date I did that? Because I can't remember now. July 6th. Okay. Well, that was 2 weeks ago. I gave a presentation at the Ridge Route Communities Museum up in Fraser Park, partly on the early history of automobiles and how that tied into the history of the building of the Ridge Route, and then the improvements on the Ridge Route. And then I went into conditions on the Ridge Route now, and the various projects that we are working on the Ridge Route, the Pothole Project, the future project of redoing the monuments, the future project of working on the landslide area to the south. So it was just basically kind of a state of the road kind of presentation, that part of it, and then how our organization, the Ridge Route Preservation Organization, is what our efforts are to try and preserve the road, to try and make repairs on the road. And that was basically it. I talked for way too long, but the good thing is I didn't put anyone to sleep.
Amazing. And what was the reaction to that? Were people pretty happy about that? Were they interested?
Yeah. Everyone seemed very interested, and I got a lot of good comments afterwards. I had a whole ton of slides to show them, all kinds of slides, all kinds of pictures that you and I have taken, and other people have taken the last year or so of the problem areas on the road, and then various work crews working on those areas.
Awesome. And then, would you want to do that again in the future? Is that something you'd be interested in?
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure. I have the whole slideshow put together, and I can adapt it for presentation to various groups.
Awesome. And it looks like we just got Michael Ballard on board here.
Hello.
Hey.
The link wasn't working, I guess. I logged in.
Oh, that's real weird. Awesome. Well, Jamie just kind of gave us the rundown of his talk at the museum. It sounds like he had a good reaction. He kind of went over what we've been working on, what we intend to work on. Yeah. Awesome. So then, now that we got us three on here, I'm going to go and circle back to the Pothole Project here, and where we're at with that. So right now we have 12 potholes filled using 55 bags of cold patch, which sounds like quite a lot. The total cost of that was $839.85 before tax. Most of those were donated, which is fantastic. We have quite a ways to go. We've made it up to about Horseshoe Bend right now. Our next step is to go for Granite Gate because that area is quite rough. There's lots of larger potholes along the road that do need to be worked on that will require a larger amount of bags. I do intend to seek sponsorship, possibly from Quikrete, to see if they would be willing to donate some bags for us. Michael, do you have anything to say on the Pothole Project?
Well, I honestly think has been going rather well. I've been pleased with how solid the potholes have been, with some time. To be honest, I had visions of it peeling up or, bits all over the place. So it's actually held pretty well. My concern with a couple of locations is, well, mostly just the spots we haven't hit yet. I guess where it's more, the concrete is failing a lot more, and of course that we need to actually replace that with concrete, but potentially even if temporarily with asphalt, so it doesn't get any worse. And that's the spot near Horseshoe Bend.
Got it. And where are we at right now with getting the concrete repairs approved with the Forest Service?
It's still in process.
Okay. Awesome. So that may end up being a later date thing, even though we would like to jump on it as soon as possible, but we're kind of at the mercy of them right now, huh?
Yes, and right now we do have the approval for the asphalt, so just keep moving forward on that.
Awesome. Jamie, do you have anything to add on this?
Had to unmute.
Awesome.
No, I don't really have anything to add. Basically, my mindset with all this is I'm just waiting to be told what to do and when and where.
Great. I got that covered for you. Don't worry.
Good.
Awesome. Okay, any last comments on where we're at with the Pothole Project? I will say, before we move on, we've had a lot of returning people, which is fantastic, and I love to see the familiar faces coming back. We've had some wonderful, I think Vito came back the last time. We had Joel, who was on a previous Clean Up the Ridge Road event. Quite a few that have ended up circling back around, so it's good to see. Alrighty, moving on to the next one here. So, the landslide. I reached out to our lovely construction friend again, and he is not able to help anymore, which is really unfortunate, but I am so incredibly thankful for the information he's given us and the help he's given us so far. So today I went and I reached out to SoCal Gas. I sent them an email and a message on their Facebook. It's been kind of hard to get in contact with a person to see if they would be interested in helping out with this. It does appear that this landslide continues to move. As you can see, the first picture is March 11, 2023. Second picture is May 29, 2023. And third picture is June 13, 2024. The ground is still moving. Michael, do you have anything to say on the landslide right now?
Well, the one thing I have noticed is that the bulk of the slide has at least slowed down, which is really nice. The issue, the primary issue I've been seeing is well, as you can see in the photos, it is receding. But the area is receding, causing definitely more damage, but it's not necessarily moving, I guess is the way to put it. I'm not seeing any other movements across the highway, which is really nice to see. it's basically the whole section slipped out, and what was undermined is gradually falling down.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then Jamie, you've been out there, you've been marking the edges. Have you noticed any changes recently?
Let's see, the first time I painted the edge was in May, and then I believe late last month, I had seen that a piece of that edge that I'd painted had fallen down. It was just a small piece, and it was a piece that was already sagging, so it was on borrowed time. But aside from that, at the moment, it appears to be pretty stable. But yeah, I had initially painted the edge at Michael's suggestion, and then repainted it
recently
last month because the paint had faded and part washed off.
And you can kind of see that in that third photo too.
Yeah, but it is. It appears to be like Michael said. It appears to be relatively stable, but putting that paint on it does make it visually a little bit easier to kind of keep a more precise eye on it. And then I'm getting up there maybe once a week or once every couple of weeks and kind of taking a peek at that most specifically to see if there's anything we should be immediately alarmed with. But I think for the time being we're probably okay-ish.
Okay.
And as I'm talking about this, I'm realizing I really don't know what I'm talking about, but that it's just kind of my observations on things.
We appreciate your observations.
Thank you.
It's wonderful, and you're the one on the ground, and you're the one checking on it regularly. So I'm very grateful for that.
Thank you.
Anytime. And on this, so when I did reach out to SoCal Gas, I explained to them, this is impacting not only the road, but their access to their pipelines. And we are here to help them in any way, shape, or form. And we would appreciate their help if they kind of came in and helped us engineer it. It's it's a little sad that it's breaking off there. And I told them, it's impacting about half the roadway, and we're concerned that this winter, when we have the rains again, that it might further impact the roadway. So I'm hoping to hear back from them. If not, we'll just keep going. If we don't hear back from SoCal Gas, we'll check with Edison and see, because they also use that stretch of road to access their power lines. All right, anything further on the landslide?
One thing I do have is we do potentially also have the option of going through the United States Department of Transportation. That's the same agency that helped us help the RPO back in the mid 2000s regarding the 3 major slides to the south, where the highway was completely eliminated between Tumble-In and National Forest Inn.
Awesome. That would be wonderful. Do you have a contact there still?
Yes, we do. We do have the information for that project, as well as the contact.
All right. I'm going to give it about oh yes.
Yeah, also too, I had several weeks ago, I can't remember exactly when I was up there checking on it, then I did run into a division. I don't remember what his title is offhand, a division supervisor or division head for the Forest Service too. And we talked a lot about the road and conditions and things, and that spot in particular. And he did tell me that's on his radar too. He had only he'd only been starting to go up there for about a month, so it was new to him seeing it, but that's on his radar as well. So
Okay,
for whatever
that's
it's
really
worth,
good
that's
to know.
encouraging.
Yeah, that is. So one way or another, this is going to end up repaired, whether it be through the Forest Service, whether it be through pipeline, whether it be through the Department of Transportation. Is what we're getting at here. It's just a race to see who's going to get to it first.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. I love that. Okay, that makes me feel a whole lot better, especially seems like we're so far away from winter, but I mean, honestly, we'll probably have 6 months till we get another good rainstorm here. So we got 6 months to get that cleaned up. Fantastic. Any more comments on the landslide while we're at it? Nope.
One thing I was going
Alrighty.
to mention. Well, one thing I wanted to mention is that before we get the next big rains, whenever they might be, I do suggest that, assuming the project isn't advanced at that point, we do the sandbag treatment, the same that we've
Yes.
done at other sites.
Yeah, the plastic cover and then the sandbag around it, and the sandbag to divert the water from the underside of it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. If it's not ready by then, absolutely.
Yes.
Alrighty. Moving on to our next thing. We've gone over kind of what's already in the works, what's existing, moving on to the things that are moving forward. I would like to get a year-round work schedule set up. That's just kind of so we're proactive instead of reactive on this stuff, and we can jump ahead of things like that landslide. So what I was thinking is spring we focus on brush clearance and community projects. One of the community projects I would like to do is cyclist benches, and I'll talk more about that in a little bit. And then I would like to clear the brush at sites like Tumble Inn and Sandbergs. This is covered under our agreement with the Forest Service. I looked at it, and I think that would make it a lot more of like an accessible place for people going through there. For summer, we'll keep going on that pothole project. It's a good time to work on that. We can work on it in the mornings. A lot more people are available, so we can get a lot more manpower in there. The next sections we have are Horseshoe Bend and Granite Gate. And then for fall, we start moving into winter prep. So once again, I'll talk about this in a little bit, but I would like to put in a curb in that at-risk section at Kelly's, and then one in that at-risk section at Serpentine Drive that kind of permanently diverts the water, so we don't have further washouts or landslides like we did further down in Castaic. And then winter, we're on damage control. I would like to get the signs installed so it's clearly marked that this is not the place to go when there is a snowstorm. And that way, nobody gets trapped up there. And then Jamie and I on landslide patrol, kind of going through there and checking to see if there's anything unsafe that can be causing a problem to the general public, that we're on top of it, that we're aware of it, that we can put out warnings if we need to. And then the big thing is get that gate repaired, because I really would not like to see more people stuck up there in the winter. All right. Michael, do you have any comments on any of this stuff?
Well, I have reached out I haven't heard anything back yet, but I have reached out to the Forest Service regarding two things. One, the more than a pothole, the pipe erosion. I'm not sure quite how to quantify that, near the Tumble Inn campground site.
Yes.
And reached out regarding the possibility of curbs, starting with the section near Kelly's. I basically trying to figure out what is their process for that, since it's more than just pothole filling. It's actually installing more permanent features. The same would go along with the benches. I'm not opposed to any of these. I think they're all great.
Awesome.
It's just a matter of making sure we can get that approval, because we can do it. It's just a matter of making sure that the Forest Service is okay with it if we need to submit something. But brush clearing, that I look forward to doing that.
Great. Awesome. Jamie, do you have any thoughts or comments on this?
Off the top of my head, no. I think this is a good plan, and
Awesome.
yeah, I have nothing to add right now.
Awesome. All righty. We'll go ahead and move on. So, talking further about this curb install, um, I mapped it out. It's about 250 foot in length. It'll be a long stretch, um, and I want it to follow the edge of the concrete. The materials we'd use, there's a Quickcrete Portland cement, which is kind of the closest and easiest I can get to the material of the road. Home Depot said we'd need 153 60-pound bags. That's $504.90. We'd also need people with trucks like F-250s and F-350s or equivalent to carry that weight up there. My goal is to start working on this in October. That way it's solidified, it's good to go, it's ready to go. And this is my super precise engineering here, but the red line is about where it end up being. And you can see the washout starting right in the center there. So that's my hope and my dream. Michael, you already talked a little bit about the Forest Service. Do you know what it would take to get this approved? What we need to go through here?
Well, the one thing is it's going to take time. I honestly don't, as much as I would like to see it before winter, I don't think it will. I think it may be a spring, more likely to be towards spring of 25.
Okay.
But even in the interim, we do have the sandbags in place, which will at least be a good starter. The biggest issue I look forward to seeing from those sandbags is how it diverts the water, and where does that water go? Because that's the thing we're gonna have to deal with, because that same water has been eroding that. Where are we sending it?
Yeah, and adding to that, Sydney and I we'd walked the thing the other day, and then that line that she drew there, I think only about half of that distance is covered by the sandbags that we placed in December. Is that right, Sydney? About half? Or maybe
I'd say about 3/4 of the way.
Okay.
It was a good amount that's placed by the sandbags, and the sandbags I think will add a little bit of reinforcement if we can't put the curb in. But I was looking for something a little bit more permanent that's gonna hold for long term and prevent further.
Michael may be right about if we can't get to it this fall.
Yeah.
I would suggest the sandbags that we placed there. Those seem to be holding up well. I would suggest bringing more sandbags and placing them and extending the line maybe to preserve it.
Okay.
And then regarding the logistics of doing this cement, then like you mentioned, we're gonna need some people with 3/4 ton, 1 ton pickup trucks, because that's a little over 9,000 pounds worth of payload. To haul that, and our Tacomas ain't gonna do it. and then also
I love the Tacomas, but
they're lovely trucks, but they can't haul that much. But the other thing too, we're going to have to deal with, as part of the logistics, we're going to have to deal with the water supply, and mixing a method of mixing the cement up there.
Mm-hmm.
All those parts of logistics for the thing, we'll have to figure out.
Yeah. Yes, I agree on that. I do have big barrels at the house that we could fill with water. It might
Well,
be a pain to get them up there, but
that's gonna be a whole lot more payload that we have to haul.
yeah, yeah. Alrighty. So even if we can't quite get it right now, we do have the sandbags, and then we'll reinforce with sandbags, and especially this. There's a couple spots on this area by Kelly's where there's been a lot of like dirt buildup from the water running. So we'd have to go up and over that just to, make sure it doesn't add up and spill over the top. And then
Yes.
Serpentine Drive is a similar thing where it's starting to kind of affect the road surface down there. And that one may be a thing of we have to reach out to the higher ups to kind of get that repaired, because I'm a little worried about that stretch.
Also, too, if we end up working on sandbags there on that area of Serpentine Drive,
Mm-hmm.
the material on those sandbags has not held up very well at all. Some of those the fabric of the sandbags has been unraveling, and
Were those
so
that tarp material, or was that the
yeah, it's kind of a white. It's white, almost kind of an artificial canvasy kind of a thing.
Okay.
It's a different material than the green ones that we were using there near Kelly's.
Okay, so then I'll make sure when we go back to Serpentine Drive there, we have the same ones. I got these from Home Depot, and they're kind of like a tarpy material. So we'll make sure we get those.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
One issue I was also seeing with the ones at Serpentine is the width of the roadway.
Yes.
It's a much narrower section there, and that is partly causing people to either drive over or drive adjacent to those sandbags, causing them to disintegrate. So we may have to work on not necessarily widening the road, but making it more obvious to go to the side.
Do we have more cones we can put up there in that area? And then I can't remember off the top of my head, but is there enough room that if we clear some of the rocks and the sand, is there enough room where we can divert them off the road in that area?
Yeah, there's enough room to divert people. What I think instead of cones, at least for now, is we can also potentially use stakes, wooden stakes with some sort of marking, maybe make them orange or something.
Yeah.
Cones themselves are a good idea.
Just some kind of
problem
caution.
is they're expensive and tend to get thrown.
And I do remember, and Michael, I do remember also when we were doing those sandbags. I remember when we were walking kind of the length of that area. You're concerned with there isn't a really good place to divert the water to.
Correct. The nearest place is actually quite a ways down.
So that'll be an ongoing issue that we kind of got to think through, I guess.
My thought is that location becomes a drain, a reinforced drain.
Yeah.
we do have an option. Austin calls them hay sausages, but there are those long bags of straw that they often use on the side of the roads. I mean, we could look into that as well, because that covers a wider stretch than sandbags do, and that's lightweight. We just need like a sandbag every once in a while to hold them down.
That could be an option. I know those can also be an option to help mitigate the flow of the water regardless.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got a couple different possibilities here. Awesome. Any more comments on the curb install or sandbag?
No.
Not as yet.
Alrighty. Okay. Cool. Moving on. Okay, so these are the benches that I had a hope and dream about. This is not a picture of the bench, but this is where I would like to put one. The road is frequented by cyclists, I see them up there every time I go up there. I hear lots of stories from cyclists who enjoy the road. And I think it would be a really fun thing to put little stations for them to stop at and enjoy the view and enjoy the area. What I would like to do is put a little bench at View Service Station, Reservoir Summit, and Tumble In. That feels like it's spaced out enough. And then possibly like a bike rack so they have somewhere to put their bike while they sit and relax. Any thoughts on this, Michael?
Well, the idea itself certainly good. One issue, aside from, of course, the getting permission from the Forest Service, is ongoing maintenance and potential for vandalism.
Yeah,
That's something that we would have to be dealing with if for any permanent structure on the road.
Yeah. I think the ones I was looking at, they were just kind of like a brushed metal. So it seemed like it was easy enough to clean up, I would hope. But also, if there are people regularly up there, I feel like the vandalism will be less of a thing because there's enough people around, I hope.
Yes, that is something that also does help.
Yeah. And I hear a lot from these cyclists, and I feel like we should do something to make their experience of the road, a little bit better.
With that in mind, that's also something that we could add onto the site itself. It's more than just about RRPO. It's what can you see along the road. The long-term plan is to merge what's on bridgeroute.com with that site.
Mm-hmm.
So that will add quite a bit, but even more, it's like a way to kind of get a tour of the road as well as amenities along the way.
Yeah.
You bicycle it, hey, there's going to be racks at these places or benches.
Exactly. Yeah. Awesome. Jamie, you have any thoughts on this?
No, not at the moment. I just really, I really like the idea of putting benches up there. I was almost thinking at View Service Station rather than a regular, kind of a park bench thing. I was almost thinking like a picnic bench kind of a thing would be really nice at View Service Station.
Absolutely. That would be real cute. They can have a lunch there and then keep going.
Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect. All right. Any more thoughts, comments on this? All righty. Okay, moving on to our community outreach. So right off the bat, we have a handful of gold members, which is fantastic. I want to start our gold member road surveys. This is where they can go ahead and go with one of our board members through the road and see the stuff we're working on and learn about the history of the road. I talked to Jamie briefly about starting this up. I was wondering if we have a car limit for this too as well. So Jamie, since this is going to be primarily your project, let me know if you have any thoughts on it.
I don't know. I don't think we'd want very many vehicles. Maybe 5 vehicles max. Counting me. I don't know. Do you think that's too little, or?
It depends on what you're comfortable with the amount of people.
Yeah.
I would say overall no more than 10.
No more than 10. All right.
Yeah.
Because it starts being an issue with, parking and just the general logistics of it.
Yeah. I would say 5 to 10 would be good. Yeah, definitely no more than 10. Because then you get kind of, a long train of vehicles.
Yeah, and then it gets hard to stop at some of the stops without waiting for everyone.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah. But I think also too, since this will be a gold member kind of a thing, maybe. Or do we want to keep it fairly intimate?
Yeah, I mean, let's see what the interest is on our first one.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the big point on this is I want them to not only be able to see the road and interact with the road, but kind of have a say in the road, so they can bring things
definitely.
and say, I would like to do this, and we can go, all right, let's figure it out, because they're our most supportive people on this. So, yeah. Michael, do you have any thoughts coming up on this?
Well, I know that definitely getting people up there and definitely having a say. Well, having it's not more than a say, I guess. It's more. It'd be like a mini tour of the road. It's not so much a tour per se. It's more like I said, I was doing, trying to get up there once a month or every couple of months, doing a survey of the road, and having some people join along that, and it kind of turns into a little bit of a, here's some interesting things along the way, more than just we're looking at items. One thing the one thing I will say though is that in terms of logistics, if it's for a survey, the fewer vehicles is the better.
Okay.
Because if it's too many, then you become less interested in stopping at certain things or stops are more problematic.
Yeah.
So you start to slowly lose that focus.
So let's do 5 vehicles then. We'll stick to that. That feels like that's, what would it be? Jamie and then 4 others. That keeps it a little bit more compact. And then, if they bring their husband, wife, kids, then they're welcome to do that in the same vehicle.
And it's not absolutely critical, but maybe recommend vehicles with fairly good ground clearance, like the Mazda CX-5.
Yes.
Well, that should, at a minimum, any trip over the road should always have that as an qualifier for the vehicle. If you're going through the whole way, there's going to be sections where it's going to be rough, and there may be rocks on the road. Maybe they get cleared, maybe they don't. Hopefully they do, but no low clearance vehicles.
Yeah.
And,
I know on the clean up the ridge route stuff, I have the automatic emails that go out that say, closed-toed shoes, ground clearance, water, all of the kind of disclaimers of this is what we're doing and here's what you need. So I'll just I'll make sure that's added in those emails for the gold member surveys. All right. Yeah, that way we're covered on that. All right. Any more thoughts, comments, concerns on the surveys?
No.
Jamie, do you need any support from Michael or I on this? Do you need any information? I got to get you a login for Wild Apricot, which is our event software, so you can see the people who are going.
Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, let's see. We had worked on, you and I, we had worked on for the Boy Scouts, I think. Weren't we working on a handout that kind of had a little blurb on each area, each stop? I think we would, a little handout thing would be good to have along, so we can figure that out.
Alrighty, so I have the file for that one that we used for the Boy Scouts. We just need to get more printed. I just got them done through Staples, so that's easy enough. Do you have a lot of those stickers still left?
I don't think I have that. I probably have about 10 or 12 left.
Okay, so then we'll get you more of those as well. All right, and then also on this, I'm going to do it a little bit more informally. So if you have dates or weekends where you know that you're going to go take the road, just send that to me, and then I'll send it out to the gold members, so then they can, they can pick if they want to go that weekend or whatever it may be.
Okay.
That way they have more than enough opportunity to go.
Well, then I'm going to have to plan ahead.
Man, I'm so sorry. I mean, give it like 3 days notice. And
Okay.
then some of them plan way ahead. So if there's people who are out of state or, traveling
Yeah.
good ways, they can figure that out. But the people in the area, you give them 3 days notice. That's enough for me to be like, all right, I'll go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that's not a problem. I'll just start planning ahead and laying out on my calendar.
Awesome.
Set them aside.
Yeah.
And these would be just weekends, right?
It's up to you. I find weekends work best because a lot of people work Monday to Friday.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking. It would be best.
Yeah.
Being retired every day's a weekend, so I'm a little spoiled. But so I'll shoot for figuring out some Saturdays, and I'll let you know.
Great, awesome. Michael, did you have something to say there?
Oh, just weekends would be best, I think.
Yes.
Good. And we tend to do the cleanup the Ridge Route events on Saturdays. So maybe we do, we'll kind of coordinate actually. So that way it's not two things on the same day. But if we have it on a Saturday, we can do you on a Sunday, either way. Yeah. Alrighty. Anything else before we move on?
No.
Moving on. Okay, so membership, this is just the online stuff. This isn't the offline stuff. I haven't been doing a whole lot of pushes on the membership because I've been pushing the pothole stuff. But right now we have 7 gold members, 2 silver members, and 1 that's pending payment. We do need to still get our previous lifetime members converted to gold members. Michael, do you know what the deal is with that? Where that information's at?
I gave that over to Hugh.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. You gave me the binder for it, and I haven't had a chance to get together with Samuel to get it to him.
Awesome. All right,
yeah,
so I'll send him something.
And he should have a list of members as it stands. I did have an Excel sheet that I had set up. So I'm pretty sure I sent that to him.
Perfect. And I gave him a login already. So I'll check in with him and see where he's at with that. Awesome. Any more?
And then I should be seeing him first Monday of August, whatever that date is.
Great. Awesome. Any more thoughts, comments, concerns regarding membership?
No. One thing is we want to make sure that the members are aware. Well, I know they get separate emails, but updates do get posted to our site, so they should also make sure to be subscribed.
Alrighty. Awesome. Cool. All right, moving on. Grants and local government involvement. I know we had talked about reaching out to local government regarding the north end and that not getting repaid like the south end was. Starting tomorrow, I'm not really going to be available very much. So I think this might end up having to be another person who's heading this up at the moment. Probably until November, I'm pretty locked up. So if any of you guys could help with that, that'd be fantastic.
Well, I can certainly work on writing a letter to,
Okay,
so we
great.
can send that to the county and, get our voices heard on that northern end, and hopefully
Yeah.
put a stop to the blanket paving of the highway.
Yeah. Because I feel like they didn't really know any of the significance of the road, and when they paved over that 100-year-old concrete, they were just thinking, "Oh, this is just an old driveway," and they went for it, unfortunately. So I would like to not see that happen with that Sandburg stretch, because that stretch up to Sandburg is still county maintained. So, all right. So then you're on that, writing that up. Jamie, we had talked about briefly going into the local offices down here in Santa Clarita. Would you still be interested in doing that if you have the letter
Yes.
written up by Michael?
Yes.
Okay, great. Perfect. Taking notes right now. Alrighty. Any thoughts? Any more thoughts on this? I have been doing some research on grants. I've been sending the links all to Jamie.
Yes.
For anything I've
the
seen.
links. Yeah.
As I was just Googling, but I would like to get some grants to help cover the cost of the repairs we've been doing. And I would also be interested if there are grants within the Forest Service, because when Jamie and I were working on potholes last week, there was a group that stopped by, said that they worked on the mine down there by that Knapp Ranch. And they asked if we were paying for this by ourselves, and we said, "Yep, we are." And they said that they get paid by the forest to upkeep that mine down there and upkeep a couple other spots. So I'm wondering if there's something available through them as well.
The other thing is that the northern end, possibly from Tumble-In north, well, at least Tumble-In to the Sawmill Mountain turnoff, is designated as an off-road vehicle highway section, or off-highway vehicle section, and that may be funds available through the state for upkeep of the roadway there.
So what does it take to get those funds? Do you know?
That I'm not sure. That would probably be a grant or something similar through the what I believe is called the Off-Highway Vehicle Fund.
Okay, because I know we do have in that section, between 723 and Tumble-In, it gets pretty rough. And Jamie and I were driving through that last week and looking at where we would need to do repairs to the concrete and then add support with the asphalt, like we've been doing with the Pothole Project. So there's quite a bit of work that does need to be done in that section, and it would be great to have that, funded and taken care of.
Because that's going to require, blades and bulldozers to clear a lot of that off of a lot of the, material that's come down on the road.
Yeah. And do we know on that section if we have to put up like a retaining wall? Because I'd imagine if we go and we clear that out, next time it rains, it's just going to get all muddied and messed up again.
For a couple of sections, yes, that would most likely be necessary. There's another section where there's an active landslide. I don't know if it's a recent landslide. I don't know if it's still active, but it has come over the roadway to an extent. So that
above the road, not below the road, right? Okay. All right. So can I ask you to look into that and see if we're thinking about this as our project for the next summer or spring? Can we look into that and look into those funds and see if we can push that along?
Yeah, I can see what I can do with that.
Great. Love that. Awesome. Great. So any more thoughts, comments, concerns here? Nope.
Not yet.
Okay. Great. So that kind of wraps up what I had. If there's anything else you guys want to bring up, you're absolutely welcome to. Anything?
I can't think of anything.
We covered it all?
Yeah, I think so.
Fantastic.
Pretty much, yes.
Awesome. And then, just so you guys know, we did have somebody put in a comment here from a man named Larry. He said, I haven't been through here for 20 plus years, sending you all my thanks for your persistent efforts to maintain this marvel. I always enjoyed traveling it. I think that's very sweet.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Well,
Thanks.
very nice.
Alrighty. So with that, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Last chance if you guys have anything else you want to bring up.
Can't think of anything.
Not this time.
Fantastic. All right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close out our live stream here. Thank you guys if you were watching this on Facebook or Instagram. Thanks for joining us, and let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns as well. All right. Heading out.